Yo, what's going on? This is 2023 NBA champion Aaron Gordon, and you're watching Undefined with Josina Anderson.
So welcome to another episode of Undefined with Josina Anderson, hosted by yours truly. And today, I'm so pleased to be joined by a special guest all the way from Spain, even though he is 6 hours ahead of me. And right now it is early in the morning, the crack of dawn on the east side. But it is none other than 2023 NBA champion from the Denver Nuggets, forward Aaron Gordon, joining us in the building. So we are going to be bringing him up, on the other side. So look who it is, Aaron Gordon in the building. What's going on? You good?
Yeah, everything good. How you doing, Josie?
How you doing, Josie? And you still be calling me Josie. Tell the folks where you are right now. What is going on?
I'm in Malaga, Spain right now.
So how you being fancy? And why are you in Spain? What is going on?
They have the Jose Calderon has a sports facility out here. It's called the Embassy, or the Sanctuary. So I came out here, un poquito trabajo y jugar, so I could play a little bit and I could work a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. Did I just hear you try to break out the Spanish on me a little bit? Did I just hear that?
Yeah, un poquito,
Un poquito?
Yeah, entiendo rápidamente,
Well, mira. Yo aprendí español desde que fui muy chiquitito. Estaba en una escuela de inmersión, así que todas mis clases fue en español, la matemática, la ciencia, la historia. Así que tú estás hablando con una persona que pueda hablar español, Aaron.
Vale, you good to go.
That's why you should have sent me my Evite on email, because then I could have been out there helping you out, make sure you wasn't getting taken by the cab drivers. So what were you, all right, so kind of tell me what you've been doing in Spain, and, I haven't actually been there. The only place I've been in Europe is France. I went over there for the fashion show, Fashion Week, like about 3-4 years ago. So what are if you were my tour guide, what are the best things to do in Spain, Aaron?
Well, Mallorca is beautiful. Beautiful. Malaga is a really, really cool city. Is like a real like old town feel to it. Like the architecture is beautiful historically, just elegant. There's some cathedrals around here. Like there's a Picasso museum. That's if you were trying to get cultured. If you're trying to turn up, you just head down the coast, go to Marbella. So that's kind of like what I've been doing. I've been like working through the week, and then when the weekend comes, or if there's a pool party or something like that, I'll shoot down to Marbella real quick. And, Go tap in with the people. Go touch the people one time.
And speaking of this pool party, isn't that what you were doing last night? Can you give us the play-by-play of this pool party? What was going on at this pool party?
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. It's Now pool party. Shout out to Now. Just with a couple of the homies. And then after that, we went to I think a restaurant / bar called Olive, basically.
Okay.
Olivio, I don't know. Rick Ross was there.
Close enough.
Yeah, something like that. Rick Ross was there, so it was cool. It was a little
Wait,
wild.
What did you just say? Did you just say Rick Ross was there?
Yeah.
Hold up. The last time I saw Rick Ross was at the Super Bowl when he performed I believe at the W in Arizona.
Okay,
All right, well, listen here. I love it. Sounds like you're having a great vibe in Spain. But one of the things we have to obviously talk about is your big accomplishment. Just this past NBA season, winning the NBA championship. And I'm just so curious, how has your life been impacted and changed since, winning the ultimate trophy?
It's been crazy, Josie. It's been absolutely wild. It's hard to even put into words, I just feel like the notoriety is just like exponentially grown, So like before we won, it's like, yeah, people knew me when I went around the world. But like now, like people like really know me, like they understand. I mean, they saw. Uh, I think they don't quite understand what it takes to be a championship or be a champion, but they respect it. You know what I mean? They really respect it, and I feel like the level of respect has risen. And yeah, I mean, it feels great. The only thing on my mind is do it again.
And do you feel like you have to have a whole new level of security? Do you feel like your whole awareness about yourself when you're out and about has changed? You know what I'm saying?
I try and just be indifferent to it. I know that other people are indifferent to it, but like my circumstances, I just try and be like as normal as I possibly can be. Like I'm gonna still go to the supermarket. I'm gonna still go get my food. I'm gonna still cook my food. You know what I mean? And just try and blend in. I know it's delusional.
So you out in the grocery store getting your ramen noodle and your rice cakes?
Yeah, exactly. I know, and everyone's like, I know that's not who I think it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, I see.
But no, I mean, and the security's built in over here, Josie.
Yeah, because I would be concerned a little bit about that because, I know what happened to Kim Kardashian when she went over to Paris and, you guys always having to be concerned because people know what's in your pockets because it's all over the internet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I try to be like off the grid, I try to be off the grid. I don't post my location. I make sure that no one knows where I'm at except for maybe a couple of people, like where I'm really at, and then, I'm maybe naive in this aspect of it, but, I truly believe in the energy that you put out is the energy that you're going to get back. So if I am giving out good energy, if I'm showing love, you know what I mean? I really think the law of the universe will send love back, but it might be naive. So I do check my P's and Q's. I do dot my I's and cross my T's, that being said.
And do you think that when you reflect back on it now, especially after the trade in 2021, coming from the Magic to the Nuggets, that you were the missing link?
It felt like a perfect fit. It felt like a perfect fit. Like they had everything that they needed to have, and then you just insert AG, you insert me, and like we're off and running. We know what we're trying to do. We know what we're going to accomplish. I really felt like the year that I got there, the year I got traded there, I think 2020, 2021,
2021.
I feel like we were going to win the championship that year. We had won like 14 straight. We were rolling. We had just beat the Clippers, and it was like, okay, I think we got something here. And then Jamal got hurt, and then Mike got hurt. So we was just kind of waiting for it to line up for us because we knew we had something special. And if we just stayed together, we stayed positive, focused, and egoless and unselfish and playing for the next man, then I feel like it was gonna happen, and I feel like it can happen again.
I just wanted to say something to you because I have a little bit of a confession to make.
Usher Raymond, huh?
You said what?
Usher Raymond, huh? I'm not.
You not ready for it? What you just say?
No, I'm not ready for an Usher Raymond type confession.
That's right. Usher Raymond, right? So I have a little bit of a confession. So like during the time of the NBA Finals, Aaron, I kind of, just a little bit, like it wasn't even a really big deal or nothing, kind of said that I thought that the Heat were going to win the finals. And
this is over.
Okay, wait. So you gotta listen to me. So what had happened was, obviously, Aaron, I knew that you guys were the best team, but after the Heat had beaten the Boston Celtics in Game 7 Eastern Conference Finals, I was kind of flowing with that energy. I thought they were gonna ride with the whole Cinderella blue collar energy, and Jimmy Butler was kind of embodying that at the time. So I'm just curious, what do you think about that? And am I like in the media dungeon right now?
I feel like people didn't even see us until it was too late. By the time they had given us our respect, we were hoisting the trophy. which is cool, which is cool at the same time.
So you're not immediately disowning me if you what?
The Heat are an incredible organization. You know, Jimmy is like hella talented, and he was playing with a bunch of talented cats that people didn't give enough credit. Like, so credit them for even getting to the finals. But I think we had their number. I thought it was a good matchup for us, and I mean, it was kind of like that throughout the whole series. Like, people didn't know what was going on against Minnesota. People had us losing to Phoenix. People had us losing to Lakers, and then people had us losing to Miami. And listen, I'm good with that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm totally okay with it. I'm cool with it. Like, that's
right,
fine.
Right. But I mean, even after game 2, I know you were saying, okay, you know, it was cool. Like, by the time people figured y'all out, you were already hoisting the trophy. But even after game 2 and they came in and they took that, was there any little bit of worry, especially going into Miami after that win? Because the other part of that too, and some people were talking about this on Twitter, and a little bit of yours truly, is that, you know, they didn't have as much rest, obviously. And I know they didn't earn that rest because they played 7 games and then coming to the altitude. So there was an adjustment. So after they showed they adjusted a little bit, there wasn't a little bit of just a little concern.
Not really, you know, not really. It was, my concern was more for guys like Jeff Green and DeAndre Jordan, and Ish Smith. You know, it was kind of some of the guys that had been in the league for a minute, have been bouncing around a little bit and never really got a ring. So, like, I just wanted to win for them so badly. And me and DJ, we were talking in the back of the bus, like, AJ, we got to, like, come on, man, we got to pick this up. I was like, DJ, we're going to win. Like, we're going to win. But it's like, I'm just glad, I'm glad that the Larry O'Brien isn't a vote.
Well, what about, are you, so how do you feel about me? Like, does this affect like our media relationship at all? Because you know, I think you're special and everything. It was, I had a moment and I was just trying to, like, I was really just trying to razz up the trolls. That's really what it was. I mean, it wasn't.
It's cool. I don't think Denver is not like the sexy pick, you know? It's not. Denver's not the sexy pick. Like, we come in and we handle business, you know? You know, that's what it is. Josina, I mean, it don't affect nothing, you know?
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I want to know, though, do you think playing around Jokic and just Jamal Murray has allowed you to become more of the ideal version of yourself? I saw people kind of talking about that. I was reading, you know, articles coming into this interview, and then on one hand I saw, like, just back in your Magic season 2017, 2018, I believe the 2017 season, you had 17.6 points on an average. This season you had finished with 16.3. So there are seasons where you are offensively, you know, more productive, but at the same time had more minutes. Efficiency differences, I think, were different this past season for you as well. So how do you view that?
It's just kind of like when you play with great players, you know, you're expected to raise your level, and that's kind of like what I felt like. You know, I was playing with Nikola and Jamal, and it just MPJ and KCP, and list goes on and on and on. These are like really, really great ball players, and so like that raises the level of play, and then it's just the spacing of the game. You know. Like, we all play, we can all play from 3 levels, but we all have our places that we like to score from and that we like to play. You know, Joker likes to play in the pocket. Jamal likes to play over the top, you know, and I like to play in that dunker. So we all complement each other very well. And then MPJ is like one of the best shooters of all time. So and then KCP had like one of the highest 3-point percentages going in the All-Star break as well. So, you know, when you put that on the floor at the same time, it's just too much. It's too much. And it's fun because it's the right way to play. And I've always tried to play the right way. And I think that's what's unlocking my game, is just playing with other guys that love to play the right way.
So when you had the 27 points in game 4, the game where y'all won 108-95, what did that type of offensive game do for you? And what message do you also feel like is sent to the NBA community as far as, just being able to get back to that?
I'm a big game hunter. When it comes down to it. I'm a big game hunter.
You a big game hunter? That's
I'm
what
a
it
big
is?
game hunter, Joe.
You're right.
Big game hunter, and that's just what it comes down to. The bigger the game, I'm here for it. The better the competition, I'm here for it. I'm a big game hunter. I'm gonna step up.
Yeah, and do you feel like your respect level has changed as a result of just how you played and just, kind of re-demonstrating your diversity? Or is it just like, when I actually have this freedom, I can feast in this freedom because the attention level is different to me. So I can, maximize, the cuts to the basket and all that other stuff. Whereas when you were in Orlando from 2014 to 2021, there was more pressure for you to be that featured guy.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. You can get like lost in the shuffle in like the best way, not in a bad way. Like when you're out on the court, you can get like, you got to pay attention to so much in our offense that, I can like just kind of like slip through some of the cracks. I can like sneak behind the defense or get runouts or get tip-ins or putbacks and get all the points that you like, it's hard to scout for, like, yeah, you can tell this guy's cutting all the time, or keep him off the offensive glass or stop him from getting runouts. Those are really hard things to stop. Those are really hard things to scout for, and there's no real like scheme to it. It's just like you're either gonna do it, or you're not doing it. Yeah. So I got to take kind of like a step back to take a step forward and try and make everybody else's life easier. And I think that's kind of like what also has unlocked my game, is just trying to make the people around me better. I think in Orlando, I was just like so oriented on like just being him, like I was just like so oriented on being like that. And it don't work like that. You don't win like that. You win when you play with a team. It's a team game. And I don't think I was that much of a team player in Orlando. Yeah, I mean the respect has risen. I'm excited to get back on the court. Like I've been working out, like I said, at Jose Calderon's spot, and yeah, I'm excited to get back and defend it. And let everybody know, like, nah, this is not a fluke. Like, we're here now.
So, do you think the view of you was clouded as a player in Orlando when you had to be that featured guy versus how you're viewed now when you're able to kind of just harvest all the spaces where you can kind of just roam in that freedom? Do you feel that at all?
Yeah, well, and it's like rightfully so. I didn't even understand the game of basketball. I didn't understand it. I didn't like. It just wasn't like, I mean, as simply as I could put it, I just didn't even understand the game. I didn't understand like how to get to my spots, like timing. Like I didn't have a grasp of the entire game like I do now. And I think that just comes with a little bit of maturity. I think people always saw in spurts like who I could be on the court. And it was kind of like that consistency thing that people were kind of worried about and kind of caring about. And with my newfound grasp of the game, being around guys like Joker, having coaches like Mike Malone, or being in the same system for 3 years, I have a new understanding of the game, and it's gonna like make me a lot more consistent. And I think, yeah.
How was that even possible though, that you feel like you didn't understand the game? I mean, you came out first round, 4th overall pick. I mean, it's not like you didn't have this type of pedigree coming into the game. How is that possible? And do you also feel like whatever you're about to say is a function of having like 5 different coaches while you were in, Orlando, from Jacques Vaughn, I think you had an interim James Borrego, Scott Skiles, Frank Vogel, Steve Clifford?
Yeah, that definitely doesn't help.
You see, I set the table there for you just a little bit.
Appreciate that. I appreciate it, because that was definitely the next thing that was coming up.
Right. Okay. Well, go ahead and say it in your own words.
Nah, you got it right. You got it right. Yeah. I mean, the 18-year-old kid coming to the league, the 17, 18-year-old kid coming to the league, I was young. I just like, everything is just like all athleticism and then like a little bit of ball handling, you know. Like I could dribble, I could dribble, and I'm athletic as hell. So I was just running 1,000 miles per hour, trying to catch lobs, tip dunks, trying to get steals, like that's kind of like where my game had predicated on. And then at the same time, you got a new coach every year, so you got to prove yourself as almost like a rookie every single year. You got to prove yourself to a new coaching staff. You got to pick up new schemes. You got to pick up new defenses, new offenses. You can't nuance the game, and it was difficult, just to try and find a coach that knows you, understands you, and then puts you in a place to succeed. It's very important, very important. It happens time in and time again. People always just talk about like being in the right situation, and it just seemed like it was never quite the right situation. Plus, it's on my own accord too. Like I was coming into training camp hurt, damn near every year. I'd do some stupid, janky stuff and like come in with like a sprained ankle, or I'll come in with a strained calf, like every year, every year. So it just came with like maturity, honestly.
Well, trust me, I understand what it feels like to not feel settled, and the impact that has on your career, and the difference of the impact of stability, the difference of the impact of appreciation, feeling valued, feeling happy, having peace in other spaces of your life, and all those things, and really still trying to coagulate all of those different aspects of harmony that just can make an entire difference. And one, I guess, example that's coming to my mind real quick is just even like Derek Carr, who's I don't know why I'm thinking about him right now, but how he's still trying to find that, and how things got disrupted after his first coach left, and Jack Del Rio, and and then everything got disrupted by Gruden and all these things. So I completely understand that. And then just kind of speaking of mindset, I'm curious, after that, then, given everything that you were experiencing with all the ups and downs, what then was your mindset when you came to Denver? Were you like, oh my God, what is this place? Or like, how much were you really embracing where you were coming to at the time?
I loved it. I loved it. It was kind of like a little bit of a culture shock going from South Florida or Central Florida to Denver. I had just picked up a box Chevy in Florida. You know what I mean? So, and gold fronts. You know what I mean? So like, I was riding around with my grill, my slugs on 28s and Forgiatos. That's not how they roll in Denver like that.
Okay. Hey, listen, I lived in Denver for 6 years. I don't know if you knew that, but I did. Okay.
No, I didn't know.
Yes, I did. I did live in.
I liked it out there. I liked it. Like the slugs came with me. Like my gold fronts came with me. They didn't like the box Chevy. They actually keyed my car. They keyed my car.
What?
So
they keyed your car?
Yeah, I got my car keyed. I got my box Chevy, my 1990 Chevy Caprice. I got a key, so I had to send it back to Florida with love. But I just picked up a GTO, like Pontiac, old school Pontiac. So that's why I'm riding it now.
Okay.
But it's like a little same thing, a little old school, different. They appreciate the GTO a lot more. My slugs there. It's just like I got like 4 of them. You know what I mean? Just accents. So I had a little bit of a culture shock, but it's cool. I really like it out there. It's home. I built my gym. I basically built like a fantasy factory out there in Denver.
I know. Tell me about that, because I did read the Mark Spears piece before we did this interview, and how you basically built this whole big sanctuary to yourself, and you got murals of Lauryn Hill, Bob Marley. I think Obama smoking weed is up in there. I mean, so tell me about all these points of inspiration and why that was necessary.
Super necessary. You don't want to get so I got a warehouse basically. Yeah. I went to shout out loopnet.com. You can buy industrial buildings, warehouses, all types of different industrial buildings. So I was looking for a spot that I could build a gym in. Found one with an open floor plan, and then I renovated the entire inside. I put a loft in there. The front part of it is like a state-of-the-art home, and in the back of it is like a state-of-the-art gym. But I didn't want it to get stale. So, I put like giant banners up around the entire court. Granted, the court was the first thing in there. I made sure that we put the court in there.
Of course. I mean, that's the whole purpose, right?
Yeah,
it's not just a warehouse to have your little flatbed in there.
Exactly.
It's not a love pad. I mean, I do think the purpose was to get your basketball on. Okay, exactly. So yeah, the hoop dreams.
This is the office. This is the lab. Like, nah, this isn't like somewhere where I'm taking the honeys. It's not gonna do that.
You're like office. No, I'm joking.
Exactly.
But anyways, though, I did see the pictures. I saw the pictures, right. And they're awesome. I mean, they're
Basquiat in there. I got Bruce Lee in there. I just put up Mae Jemison, the first Black female astronaut. I put Tony Hawk in there. He's invited to the cookout.
Okay.
Willie Mays. No, Jackie Robinson, and then Chadwick Boseman, Jackie Robinson. So I got a 2-for-2-in-1. Put Josephine Baker, Lone Hill, like you said, Maya Angelou, Pac and Biggie, Mac Miller in there.
Okay, so how come when you put Barack in there, you didn't put him like behind the presidential seal, at the White House or whatever? Can you describe the picture of Obama that you have in your warehouse? Why you selected that one?
Yeah, it's Obama hitting the dude.
and why was that the vibe that was necessary? Does Obama know about this? Do we need to at him?
We do.
He does?
I do need to add him.
Okay.
I think we're going to the White House, actually. Okay. He's not going to be there. It's going to be Biden.
No.
I wish Obama was going to be there.
Yeah, listen, you might have to do the Michelle Obama, Barack Obama cookout after you leave the White House. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe he might be there because, Kamala might invite him. I'm sure you could really pull it off if you wanted.
You might be off that, though.
I know it. So
I guess, I got Bob Marley in there, too.
I love it.
Bob Marley smoking. I guess it was just to humanize him, That was it, to make him more personable. And be like, okay, like, you don't have to be a square to be the president. You can be like, not normal, but like, you can lead a normal life and still be president. You don't have to be like a robot. You don't have to be a marionette. You don't have to be a puppet. You don't have to be. Are you going to be if you're president? Quite possibly, but you can still be a person.
Well, listen, I think Bill Clinton showed us this when he went on Arsenio Hall's show and played saxophone. So, I don't know if you were like 2 at that time or whatever. I might be a couple years older than you. He went on Arsenio's Hall show, put on the sunglasses, I believe, and he played the saxophone. So there were some vibes of, humanity outside of your professional world that were embodied prior to Barack Obama coming to office. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's important. It's important. It's really important to be a well-rounded person, Well, not a robot.
And not a robot. Well, speaking of Bob Marley, because my parents are Jamaican. I think we talked about that before when you came on my show prior. But I just wanted to say really quickly, since we were talking about him, that my favorite, I think I was trying to think about this before we did this interview. I was like, my favorite Bob Marley song is, I'm gonna sing it to you real quick. Okay, I'm gonna sing it to you. Okay, here you go. Here we go. Here goes. Jalib, children, yeah. And Jalib, children, yeah. What you know about that one? What you know about that one? Have you even heard that one?
I haven't heard that one actually.
Oh, I gotta play it for you.
I haven't heard that.
Okay, so what is your favorite Bob Marley song?
The sun is shining, the weather is red. You know what I mean? Make you wanna move. You're dancing feet. That's my favorite Bob song. I love that song.
We always gonna have a vibe. We always gonna have a vibe. So I'm curious, are you thinking about just even making Denver your permanent home? Speaking of vibes now, and now that you've, kind of built this whole, mega warehouse mansion to yourself, I mean, can the Denver fans expect you to plant your permanent roots in Colorado?
I would say so. I really like Colorado. It's really Central America, so I can get to Florida and I can get to California really quickly. It's easy for my family coming from Cali to come see me. Like the flights that they would take from Cali to Florida, like it like took it out of them, So I really like Denver. It's like it's a happy medium for me, and it's nice out there. Yeah, I feel like I have started to like sow some seeds and plant my roots out there, especially with some of the real estate that I've invested in. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a station for me. I love it. I've cultivated like a really cool like lounge out there, and I have some like groweries out there that I had invested in too. So that's pretty sweet. It was wild. It was wild. I actually invested in groweries when I was in Florida. Like
invested in what? What'd you say?
Like groweries.
What is that?
Like weed groweries, like marijuana groweries. So I invested in marijuana groweries.
Listen, I'm sounding all like a virgin to whatever you're talking about, because I don't know. I was like, what is this?
I know nothing.
I was like, wait, what you invested? Here I am.
I know nothing.
Nothing.
I had invested in some groweries when I was in Florida.
Okay.
And the groweries happened to be in Colorado, and then I got traded to Colorado, and so it like almost like came full circle. So like I had already had some businesses in Denver at the same time. So I have some businesses, I have some homes out there, or like a home out there and a lounge out there. My dog out there. So yeah, I really appreciate Denver for accepting me, and yeah, I mean, I can see myself making that home if I'm not going to live overseas.
How do you still feed your creative channels? Because the last time you came on my show, you had just dropped this single, started from the bottom, What was the name? Tell me the name of it again.
So we had
Level Up.
Yeah.
That's what see, how am I remembering your stuff before you remember the name of your own song?
I was down bad, had to level up. Now everywhere we go, yeah, they know it's us. I had to level up. Haters, they never love. They gon' remember us long after we turn into dust.
And then you were reciting your poetry and stuff like that. So
it goes to set the world ablaze. We must navigate the maze that society has made to keep us in our chains. So to cope with the days that slowly drift away, we smoke the they gave until we're laying in our grave, a gutter at home, a little boy colored in his kin who has to suffer for the color of his skin.
Are you still doing those things? Where are you with that?
A little bit. Like I dropped a new single. It's called the Euro Freestyle. About my travels around Europe,
Okay. So is this already on YouTube?
It's on all the streaming platforms. I don't know if it's on YouTube. I don't have a video for it.
Oh, you don't have a video? You're not gonna have a video yet?
I'm an independent artist, so I don't have to do what the label says.
Okay.
You feel me? Like, I can just I can
come to Spain.
If
you need me to be Flavor Flav in the background. You know what I'm saying? I can hype it up with a clock. You know what I'm saying? If you need me, I'm good for that, AG.
Hey, listen, I hear you loud and clear. Copy.
Okay, and then what about the poetry?
Poetry is, I mean, it's coming along. It's coming along. I think I've written only like one poem in the past year.
One? Why, AG?
Because I think the writing, I think that I'm doing a lot to like figure out what it is I'm trying to say. You know, like still in my rap, still there's some misogyny in the raps, you know? And I'm still trying to like figure out how to like navigate that, because you know I grew up listening to that, you know, the misogynistic in raps, like we was in the club, like, or not in the club, I guess in the club, but like even before that, like bumping in my tape before going to games and stuff like that. I'm bumping that because it's like it's a banger, but they're talking about the craziest thing. So it's like most of the writing that I do right now is just about, it's more about trying to get the clutter out of my head. You know, so that I'm doing a lot of that. Like, so I'll wake up in the morning and write a couple of pages of like what I was dreaming about, what's going on in what's going on in my life. I've been listening to Rick Rubin, I think it's The Artist's Way. That's been helpful. Been making music though, so I guess I have an album. You know, I just haven't put it out yet. I haven't mixed and mastered it. With the poetry, I gotta pick it back up, you know. It's definitely falling off a little bit.
Is it on your conscience about the misogyny? Is that on your?
Yeah.
And why is that? Because I feel like, let me tell you, AG, when I turn on Twitter, I honestly, look, I came up in a whole different era. I'm a 70s baby, grew up in the 80s, and I feel like every time I'm scrolling through my phone, all I'm seeing, I'm gonna be real with you, I feel like all I'm seeing is women bent over, you know, juggling the twerks, you see what I'm saying, with their backside, and that's all it is. And then this mumble music, they sound like they got acorns in their mouth. I can't understand what's happening, and it's just like, look at my booty, and how simple can this rap be without having any thought in it? That's all I feel like I'm listening to and watching.
Yeah, it just seems just so like, I don't know, like just so like
superficial.
Yeah, superficial is a great way to put it. Exactly, just empty, and then it's just like spat out. You know what I mean? Exactly. Like there's no thought into it. It just feels like it's just like so rapid fire with any actual like conceptualization of what it's doing for the rest of the world. You know, there's no depth to it. Like you said, it's shallow. It's very shallow stuff. Very shallow. I'm not gonna say like the single that I just put out was like some profundity, you know what I mean? But sometimes I gotta pop my pee, you know what I mean? I gotta pop my shit every once in a while, you know?
I mean, listen, because I feel like it's inside of you that, I might be a dad one day, versus, I'm trying to live my real life right now where I am as a young man. Is this right. The devil and angel, kind of yin yang you going
Very important. Now? Very important. Honestly, I think about that a lot. Like before I have kids, I want to be the man that I know that I can hold myself to that standard, so I can teach my youth, so I can teach my kin what is right in the world, the values, you know what I mean, and lead them, It's very important. I do think about that all the time. Like right now I'm reading a book called, it's The Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, so I'm reading that right now, and it's cool. He was the successor to Julius Caesar, I believe. And he just talks about, it's basically just all of his thoughts before he died. It's like before he died and all of his thoughts it took to rule an entire, I'm sorry. It took to rule.
Tell Halle Berry to hold on.
Hey, listen, Josina.
Try not to just, go off in a whole dreamland right there, right?
Hey, listen.
Are you having some flashbacks while you scratching back in? Look, we trying to have a deep conversation. You telling me about you reading about the dude who succeeded Julius Caesar, and we just went on.
Word.
On a whole tangent. Really quickly, I just have a couple for you because I know you got to get to this workout. Because you're such a deep thinker and it's so hard not to want to try to go down, this road with you or a couple things or what have you. But I am curious what concerns you, about the world right now, whether it is, we're going into an election year or, if it could be something as, news topical as what we just saw happen in Montgomery, Alabama with the brawl and the video that was all over, Twitter or is it, what people are talking about when it comes to, the comments that Jennifer Aniston had about Jamie Foxx or just, whatever. It could even be something that I'm not even mentioning, but I'm curious if you have thoughts on any of those topics or also what is concerning you.
Off first thought, I would just say the overall consumption of social media. Like that's without thinking too deeply or just like off the top of my mind, people just are just so glued to their phone, so glued to, it's just social media is so enthralled in other people's lives and what's going on. And they just don't even develop. They're not even developing themselves, and it just feels like it's like turning us into androids, it's like some weird thing to where we're so addicted to it, to the matrix. Like sometimes you gotta just unplug, I would say that's probably off top. Yeah.
So addicted to affirmation.
That gratification, that affirmation, the validations. I mean, it just should be, I don't know, find validations and affirmations elsewhere other than social media. That's just the constant regurgitation of media. It's not a bad thing. Social media is cool. It's a good tool, obviously, but if you use it for the right reasons.
So you weren't like everybody else who's soaking up what happened in Montgomery, Alabama?
Oh no, I love every single part of what happened. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely see that. I see the play-by-play. Oh my God, I was in tears.
The Nuck If You Buck version.
Nucky.
Not that we're advocating violence, but sometimes there was some karmic, there was some karmic energy that happened there in terms of starting stuff.
Hey. Sometimes. Yeah. Yo, buddy swam.
Because what's his name? The little comedian was calling him Pookie Michael Phelps or or Michael B. Phelps. Talking about he was the first man to swim, first black man to swim to a fight. And then and got out and started wringing his clothes first before make sure he was dry.
We're in trouble. White people saw somebody swim and said, "Oh, we're in trouble now." This Black Aquaman.
All right, well, here are my last two for you. You were speaking of Halle Berry real quick. I have to ask this to you really quickly because I feel like this has been in my hemisphere, especially with men that either are in my hemisphere I've talked to or just conversations that I've had. But I did want your quick opinion on this. I was listening to a couple guys around here where I live, just talking about how females nowadays, speaking of, just how things are in this generation, focus too much on just wanting to get men to buy them dinners and things like that. And first dates and early dates need to just start with, a simple drink and maybe meeting each other there and not be worried about him scooping you and take it and buying you dinner and trying to get a free dinner. I'm like, hold up. When did we shift from dinner being too much? Are you on this? I mean, I don't know what your personal status is, but I mean, I just really wanted to know really quickly if you had an opinion about that.
No, I don't think dinner's too much. Honestly, it's fun. But I mean, it sounds like dudes is broke. To me.
Touche, right?
You're not gonna go get dinner? Like what? Come on now. But I was actually seeing something about bringing a woman flowers. I was gonna go on a date with a woman and I was gonna bring her flowers on the first date. Is that too much?
Ooh, talk about it.
And I don't think it is.
Do you still do that? Do you bring flowers?
If I really like the girl, yeah, I'm gonna bring, like, we've been talking for a little bit and we finally get to a point where we're gonna go out on a date, I might pick you up flowers. I'll definitely pick up some roses. You know?
Yeah, because I think I seen a little footage of you throwing flowers from a rooftop somewhere. Something, I don't know if it's on your Instagram. You know, I know you got that Romeo vibe in you now.
Listen. I'm here for that. But I'm looking for. I want. Where the women that spoil the men, though?
You said what?
Where are all the women that spoil men, though? You know.
Listen, we don't have problem catering. You know, even those of us who are professionally independent, know how to compartmentalize being professional, being alpha in your space, and still being able to transition AG and come home and, like, let me cater to you. You know what I'm saying? We can get a little, we get a little foot rub. Hey, look, listen, just let me tell you something real funny real quick, because I make juices for people around where I live. I like to make people fresh juices. So I was asking this dude around the area just now, I was like, do you want some, cucumber juice? And it's not just regular cucumber. I put, like, pears and honey and elderberry and rose and all these different things to make it, like, really good. And then so he texted me back. He was like, no, I don't like cucumber, but I like cucumber melon lotion. I was like,
you don't like cucumber, but you like cucumber.
I was like, listen, I'm not opposed to getting there, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to say is we're not there. But to answer your question, I don't have a problem doing that. Everything is just an all good timing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Let's start with the juice.
Let's start with the juice. We can have a little progression. But no, to answer your question, do you find that? Is that why you asked me that? Do you feel like, women are having a hard time showing their feminine energy to men?
No, I don't think so. If they really like them, I think the feminine energy, it comes out. But I just like, I like a partner. I like a partner in a woman. So I like, when I think of partner, I think of 50-50.
Are you talking about some Gabrielle Union, Dwayne Wade type stuff? Is it?
I like that. That's a good way to put it. A little Gabby and Wade. I like how their dynamic is, I think,
So are you saying that you would bring the woman flowers, but then at the end of the dinner, would she have to put out the credit card? I'm just asking. No judgment.
Sexy, it would be sexy, like how we going on a couple of dates. It'd be sexy. She's like, "Nah, baby, I got this one," because it doesn't happen for guys like me. It doesn't happen. They're like, "What, bro? I can go on Google right now and look at your net worth, man. You ain't gonna pick this up? Like, stop, bro. I just seen. So it would be nice after every once in a while. You're like, you know what? I got this one.
Okay. So that's what it takes.
Oh, that's big time. That's big time. If you go out to dinner with a guy and the card come and then he reaches for it, you know what I mean? He like I'm finna pay you. Like, you know what? This one's on me. Leave that where it's at. He'll be like, wait a minute.
But it's so funny how I'm hearing like a lot of dudes talk about this, because we all went to this sushi spot and the dudes it was like a whole 30-minute conversation. Like, why I have to, can she get it? And I'm like, okay, it's just, so this is why I asked you, because it's this whole conversation around this dinner energy. So I was like, okay.
Right. Because it's like chivalry to me is not dead, Chivalry is not dead to me. I'm like, I open doors, it's all that. Like, if it's raining, I'm gonna make sure that you got the umbrella there for you. You ladies is always first. That chivalry is not dead. But then at the same time, it's 2023 and we're talking about like, just like the equality and seeing each other eye to eye and being respectful completely and totally, then you gotta put your money where the mouth. Put your money where the mouth is.
Okay. I hear you. Not opposed. I would say my response to that is that I think it's okay for the man to set the tone in terms of the courtship early. Just letting him know that he's willing to lead. He can take and partake in that role, and then when there's security around that the feminine can, or the female rather, can now enter her feminine energy as well, and telling you that she can take care of you, or that she can be aware and heads up about doing certain things that make you feel special or reduce the burden or pressure on you. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so last thing here. So what is your focus as far as what you're personally trying to ascend or progress in or improve upon as you get ready for this next season? Not just professionally, although that part, but then lastly, AG, even just as a man, and that could, I don't know if that is marriage and fatherhood or whatever that next step is, but what's the next step for you professionally, and what's the next step for you personally?
Okay, so I think discipline is probably the first word that comes to mind. Overall discipline, and having a routine. I think that's important as a man, is to stick with the routine, and day in and day out you do your work. Early in the morning you get up, you make sure that you're taking care of everything. You're hitting on every goal that you have set for yourself that day. I think that's important. I'm gonna do that day in and day out as a professional and as a man. Other than that, I think I'm gonna just continue to develop myself with reading, writing, whatever, meditations, therapy, overall health, learning new trades, you know what I mean? Like continue cooking. And then
Did you just say cooking?
Yeah, I just made some. I just made myself a pasta and salmon. It's fire. It's super fire.
Oh, okay. Pasta salmon is fire?
Oh, going crazy.
Okay.
Doing numbers, especially after a day and night of drinking. You wake up, cook that.
That part.
That's what I'm saying. What? Easy. Very simple. Very simple.
Okay.
I guess it's just going to continue to polish. I think that's what it is. I'm just polish. So when I do end up finding somebody, or somebody find me, and like you were talking about, I can set the tone.
We love that. Aaron, I love talking to you and having you come on the show. You're mentally just, a star. You are a deep thinker. You've just accomplished ultimate goal in your profession, able to, traipse around the world. In Spain now, I know you're getting ready to go to China and still developing yourself. So I love your energy. You know that. And
Already, Josie.
Yes, he's still calling me Josie. And I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. Let's not wait so long for it to happen again, okay?
Well, whose fault is that?
It takes two.
It takes two. Well, you know what? You did put your new number in the DM for a year, and I did forget it was there. And then Calvin was like, "Didn't you reach out to him?" And I was like, "You know what? His number is sitting there. I ain't even call him." And and then I realized I did have it. Oh, that's true. But listen, I appreciate you. All love. All right, well, I'm gonna let you get to your workout. I appreciate you. Thank you, Aaron.